Your tingling feet is this. Your tingling hands is this. So I'm giving you that rundown. Everybody should be listening to this right now because it can apply to everything you're going through with your questions, meaning with your health, so it can reflect into the questions and so forth. So let's just say you went to the doctors and you had the gamma. They don't know. Maybe they're calling it some type of neuralgia. Maybe they're calling it some kind of Raynaud syndrome. Whatever it is, they don't know, and it falls under the mystery category. You didn't get hit by a bus. You didn't have an injury. You didn't have a ski accident. And so now you got tingles in your feet and hands after a ski accident. Let's just rule all that out so I can help in any way possible. Mysterious tingles, feet and hands. Okay? If you look into medical medium information, viral. If you look into that information. Epstein-Barr, shingles, HSV-1, all of these can be a problem. They release neurotoxins, so let's go into it a little bit. Okay? Mysterious tingles on hands and feet. Okay? Let's roll. We got some different viruses that create that situation. They release neurotoxins. Keep that in mind, neurotoxins. That's when viruses feed and they're hungry and they're feeding on toxic heavy metals like mercury. Now, what I've learned from SOC, and I put it in many of the books and so forth and information, is you've got the metals and you've got the mercury, you've got the aluminum, you've got the copper, especially the mercury, and then the pathogen, I repeat, the pathogen feeds off of that mercury. And then when it eats that mercury, which it does because it loves mercury and it's been living off of mercury in your body for maybe quite some time, many, many years, and maybe it was dormant, it then pees and poos. Yes, the virus pees and poos. Yes, it does, just like human beings pee and poo. Okay? I mean, I could use technical terms, eliminating and feces and defecation and anything else. But what I'm saying is the virus pees and poos. And when it does, that stuff is toxic. And I mean really toxic. It's neurotoxic. And then it gets built up into the liver. And each year goes by and it's built more up into the liver. And these toxins get built up into the liver even more. And then eventually at some point, it pops. It pops. The liver explodes. What that means is it does a spill. I've talked about this many times, you guys. It's a liver spill, a toxin spill. And those neurotoxins then float around. And guess what's interesting about those neurotoxins? They got a little bit of weight to them. They're metal neurotoxins. You guys understand? Metal neurotoxins. They can do a lot of different things. They can settle in your hands and feet. Extremities. Not only can they do that, they can land on your vagus nerves. They can land on your phrenic nerves. So let's get into that a little bit. So here we are. Okay. Phrenic nerves. 2 of them. Boom. 2 of them run down into the chest. They're just as annoying as vagus nerves. When they get inflamed from neurotoxins released by Epstein-Barr and shingles, those neurotoxins then land on phrenic nerves. Phrenic nerves will give you mysterious tingles on the hands, tingles on the feet, and if your doctor ruled out brain tumor, you could have a brain tumor and not have any of that. There's people that walk around with brain tumors, they walk around with stuff in their head all day long until they're 80 years old. And you may not get one symptom because of it. But what happens is the doctor ruled out all these things like brain tumors and all this other stuff, like I said, and you're now in the category of mysterious illness, and you've got these tingles on the hands and tingles on the feet. We're talking about neurotoxins on nerves such as phrenic nerves and vagus nerves. When they get inflamed, you can have anything like that, especially tingles and especially tingles in weird places, okay? So viral stuff. You got to have the medical medium books. Look, I'm just telling you right now, if you got something like that, you have to have this. Splurge. It's like $24 something on Amazon.com. And I'm not self-published. So don't worry, you're not giving me all the money. I'm getting a little tiny pittance, and then the publisher's getting the rest, and Amazon's getting the rest, okay? So don't worry, you're not making me rich today for $24 on this. So if you're worried about that kind of stuff, so just get the Brain Saver protocols, okay? Very important. Make sure you have this information about viruses and tingles and numbness too. Tingles and numbness, very important, all of it. Okay, have that book. I'm going to get the other books over here too because they're just so important. They're so good. I'm going to get the book 1. I'm going to get Cleanse to Heal over here. I'm going to get Liver Rescue over here too. All right? Just going to pile them up. A lot of times you can have a stagnant, sluggish liver. Keep that in mind. Filled with all kinds of poisons, all kinds of waste. Yeah, that's the Liver Rescue right there. What an amazing book. How many people did that save throughout the years? It's a beautiful book. Protect your liver. Have that. That book is like it's dirt cheap right now on Amazon.com. I saw that the other day because I was ordering one for a friend, and I just couldn't even believe it. It was like amazing. The liver gets filled up with all this toxic waste, and then these spills happen. They can happen in the middle of the night. They can happen in the middle of the day. You can be exercising for the first time in a while, and then you get a spill, and then you're like, what the heck's going on? I feel worse after my exercising. That's how it works. The liver likes to dump it all out in the morning, first thing, and you got to get the lemon water going and try to get celery juice going, right? Get the heavy metal detox to kind of grab onto everything. All that is great. All that is critical, really. If you don't want to do that, fine. At least do water then, maybe with a little bit of lemon in it. But a spill can happen at different times of the day, different times at night when it comes down to when you're sick, your liver's overloaded, and then you get the tingles, numbness too. You can get that as well. All right, so